My top 5 reads of 2025. These are going to be the 5 books I enjoyed reading the most in 2025. Doesn't necessarily mean they are the best books I read, but the ones I enjoyed or, kind of felt like, okay, this was a great read for me. The top 5 of them, this is being filmed on Christmas Eve. I expect to read maybe 1 or 2 more books this year, but they probably won't be counted in this. So these are books I read in 2025, not books published necessarily in 2025, just the ones that I read this year. Let's get into it. Also a note, I would say this year I mostly spent a good chunk of the year getting through a backlog of books I owned. I basically was like, I'm gonna try and read all the books that I own at the moment before I buy more. That kind of lasted for the first quarter of the year, and then after that I just went back to my book buying ways, but let's get into that. In no particular order, let's go with Andreas Oman's How to Blow Up a Pipeline. I really thought this book was intelligent, inspirational for me as an individual, and really helped me continue to understand the mindset I had around things like direct action. Because I always had this idea that why is the world so against direct action? And so I understood why governments and stuff were against direct action, but I never understood why the people and or the movements were against using direct action. And then I kind of looked at, how Mam discussed the whitewashing of people who did direct action. So like Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther King, their direct action was removed or obscured by the media or the world governments around them because it made them far more palatable. It made people feel like, oh yeah, we could just be super nice and peaceful and go on marches and walks, and that would bring forward change, as opposed to the actual direct action that in particular Nelson Mandela did to end apartheid. That combined with like spurious analyses done by academics that then were pushed really hard by governments to be like, hey, see, look, you only need to be peaceful. Just be peaceful and that will make sure you win. And the demonization of anyone who tries to do any form of direct action, something as small as slashing tires, compared to, direct action, if you know what I'm talking about. And it really helped mold my thinking this year and the way I approached analysis and looking at politics and the media. So it was a really great one for me, and I read it pretty early on in this year too, so that was beneficial to me. I am going to cheat here and put Tales from Earthsea and The Other Wind by Ursula K. Le Guin here, simply because they're the last 2 books in the Earthsea cycle, but they kind of go together to tell a story, at least the very end of Tales from Earthsea into The Other Wind. They kind of are the same story. I really felt like they were, in my opinion, great culminations for this series I really fell in love with. Obviously last year and at the beginning of this year we had our inaugural EARTHSEA award. We will have that going into 2026 as well. But I couldn't separate the two, especially because I read them at such a similar time. This will count as one entry anyway. I can't speak enough about EARTHSEA. I have so many videos about EARTHSEA because I fell in love with it. I will post the playlist above and in the description for you to go off and just watch all my videos about EARTHSEA, because honestly, it's a life-changing series for me. It completely changed the game for me when it came to my reading, and I'm never going to forget that with EARTHSEA. I don't know. Maybe for some people that was The Hunger Games. For me, it's EARTHSEA. Obviously, other book series are available to you, but it was spectacular. Number 3 is Psychopolitics. This book in particular is another one that really changed the way I thought and conducted myself. and consider myself, especially on the online sphere. Obviously, I'm still here making YouTube videos for you. I'm still talking about books. I'm still, you know, like, subscribe, share the video, please. Like, literally, please do like, subscribe, and share this video. I'm still doing that, but I am more, I don't know, I'm more considerate, you know. I'm trying to escape the self-inflicted panopticon that is the internet, that is social media. I've started to make all of my social media more so about just what I want to say, what I want to speak about. Obviously, there is the part of me that is like, I need to try and chase likes, you know. I will make thumbnails in a certain way to get viewers, but the content and whatnot is more so just, hey, what would I like to watch? What do I like to talk about? What do I want to talk about? Don't need to consider, you know, people's feelings. People's feelings in the sense that escaping the status quo, you know, not thinking about having to appeal to the status quo, in that having to self-censor myself to appeal to fitting into the framework of what is normal online, and just, you know, in general in society. Even I've had some of you guys also who've reached out to be like, hey, be careful, and I get that, thank you, and I will try and, you know, I'm not going to rock the boat too much, but this book really, you know, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm getting older too, it's really, you know, made me think and consider about social media, my usage, how I go about it, you know, the role it plays in my life and whatnot. It is, like the Mountain book, was very thought-provoking. Number 4 is Environmental Warfare in Gaza. This might feel a bit weird putting it in my top 5 books, but it's for 2 reasons. One, it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot of stuff about a cause that obviously I'm very clearly passionate about and care about. Made me see a new lens and a new, you know, way of thinking like an environmentalist, and, you know, understanding and learning environmental warfare, but also from the fact that it was a pretty academic heavy and scientific heavy book. And if you don't know, if you've not been a long time subscriber, those are books that I am still worried about, you know, reading. I would, you know, admittedly, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, so I do struggle with academic texts a lot, but I read, consumed, understood, processed this book pretty well, in my opinion, at least for myself. I'm sure there is room for improvement, there always is, but I walked away from reading this book and I was like, hey, I actually got a lot of what was said. I took in a lot of what was written, and I could apply a lot of what was written in there. I could go forward and use that. And for me, that was like, it felt really good. It was like, this is great. I can feel like I'm making progress in my academic and learning, is career the right word? You know, ability. And so I felt really good about it. So, and, you know, maybe that's a bit selfish, because obviously the book is not a feel-good topic, obviously, but being able to really get the book, really understand it, and be like, hey, I get this is great, I can't say I'm not chuffed about that. And also, it's just, it is a supremely heart-wrenching but also informative read, so I do recommend it too. And the final book I want to put on this list is Guards by Terry Pratchett. So we did get a good number of fiction books on this. Guards by Terry Pratchett was a game changer for me in the terms of Terry Pratchett. I am an alumni of Terry Pratchett's secondary school, and even though I knew Terry Pratchett all my life, because obviously Terry Pratchett went to your school's going to talk about Terry Pratchett a lot, aren't they? But I never really got into the Terry Pratchett books. I never read them. I read Good Omens last year, and I really didn't like it, and it put me off thinking about reading a Terry Pratchett book, until people were like, hey, we know you like dragons, you should maybe read this Terry Pratchett book, which was Guards. And I was like, okay, bet, I'll check it out. And I loved it. I absolutely fell in love with the book. It was great, it was witty, it was fun, it was intelligent, it was everything I was looking for in the book. It took the few good parts of Good Omens, in my opinion, the few good parts from that, and it was the whole thing. And then I realised, oh yeah, it's Neil Gaiman was the thing holding back Terry Pratchett. Obviously that, and obviously I won't fully blame Neil Gaiman. You know, the reason he was writing there was because unfortunately Terry Pratchett was suffering from Alzheimer's and stuff. But it felt so just full of raw, just love for the craft, love for the writing. You could tell Terry Pratchett was like, this shit's gonna slap. And guess what? It did. It was fun, it was funny. I unfortunately haven't had the chance to actually get into reading more Discworld books, but having read Guards, I will definitely be reading them, even if it's at a slow pace, one a year. There's probably a lot of Discworld books, but if it is a case that I'm reading one Discworld book a year, so be it. I really enjoyed Guards, and it was a lot, you know, it was the first one I read. It was a good place to start. You know, I'm so happy I have an audience who are like, hey, you should maybe read Guards, because it's a good place for you to start in the Discworld world. It's not too deep in the lore, and also it has your favorite thing, dragons. Love dragons. There's a dragon here. So yeah, it was really, really fun. It really was like, this is comedy, this is fantasy, all mixed into one. I really enjoyed Guards. It's maybe the read that I had the most fun with. Again, doesn't mean it was necessarily the best book I actually read, but it was the one I had the most fun reading. I think that's maybe the fun reads are the reads we made along the friendship way. So those are my top 5 reads of 2025. Doesn't necessarily mean they were the best books I read, but the ones that I enjoyed the most or felt like I got the most out of as an individual. Let me know in the comments down below what books are your top 5 reads, top 3, top 1 read. I'd love to know. Before I end the video, I want to say a special shout out to my members. Members get access to the book club, they get access to the movie club, additional videos, get to influence the content we put out. Members have been really great this year. I think this was my first year with memberships, or maybe the first full year with memberships, and those of you who are members or were members, really, really appreciate it. It's really been helpful and a nice little community. If you are interested in joining, you can join from as little as £1 a month down below on this video or on my channel. Just click that join button. And yeah, thank you for watching. I believe this is the last video of the year, I think. At least last long video. There will probably be 2 shorts coming out after this video comes out. But as it is the last video of the year, thank you for joining me on this journey. Thank you for being here. If you're new or you've been here for a while, I really appreciate it. 2025 has been a pretty big year in terms of YouTube stuff. 2026, I want to make it even bigger. The members will actually know that. They're going to get a video on all of that. So if you're interested in hearing those, you can become a member just to hear that. That'll probably come out shortly after this video. But yeah, I hope your 2025 was good. I hope your holiday season, let's call it that, has been good as well. And yeah, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share the video with a friend or family member. And hey, I hope you read a great book today.